Many hospitals around the world are struggling to cope. Staff are often stressed, patients can feel isolated. But at this health facility in the US, their solution is to really get to know their patients.
Did you go to Europe by yourself?
By myself, yeah. And that I call the highlight of my life. I really enjoyed that.
That's amazing.
They're producing short biographies to help patients and staff.
You would see a resident and you would think one thing, but then when you go and you read the Memory Well book, you'd just be like, wow, I didn't know that.
You might be in a wheelchair, but you're still a person.
At Grey Birch in Maine, they had a problem that's typical of many hospitals after the pandemic. Staff were becoming burnt out and turnover increased to 400%.
People had become sick, or financially there were other opportunities for them that were more rewarding. And as we had more turnover in our staff, there's a lot of new people that is helping care for people who this is their home, this is where they are going to live out the rest of their days.
So Deirdre was looking for something to help those temporary staff connect better with the patients.
Is there something we can do so that as we have new staff working with our residents, they will have a little bit of a bigger keyhole into kind of the person they have been before, so that they can form relationships a little more quicker. My hope was that it would make people feel connected to the work they do here, and I hoped it would help retain some staff.
Then Deirdre found out about a company called Memory Well. They'd been producing short patient biographies in other hospitals, and it seemed to be helping build those relationships.
Come in.
Hi, Dorothy.
Hi.
I'm Amy.
Hi, Amy.
Today, 85-year-old Dot is telling her life story. Amy, a social worker, is asking the questions and recording the answers.
What is your fondest and or strongest memories of your childhood?
Strongest memories. Well, first thing that comes to mind right now was that in Quincy I went to a one-room schoolhouse and we learned cursive handwriting.
And Dot's life has been eventful. She's trained as an engineer, she's been a writer, and she's travelled the world.
I went to Europe with no plan, no ticket, and I had a book this thick and this big, and it was Europe on $5 a day. Can you imagine that?
Dot found the experience stirred up lots of memories.
It was amazing because I didn't know that I would be able to talk that much and think of so many different ideas.
All right, you're all set up.
What are the things that you hope the nurses and the doctors, when they read the story, what are the things that you hope they will really notice?
I don't know, me as a person, I guess, and not as a patient that they have to give pills to. Really would like that. And I made that choice.
I was quite amazed with Dorothy. For a lot of us, we really don't think about our journey, and I think her saying it out loud, it made her think, yeah, I did do a lot of things in my life.
Once Dot's life story is recorded, it gets sent to a professional writer from Memory Well, who turns it into something for everyone to read.
I find just the people's stories are fascinating. What's that line? If you live past 40, there's at least one novel in you. I mean, Dot is really interesting, I think. Here she was trained as a mechanical engineer, didn't really want to be. Her father pushed her into it. She became a writer and thought, this is what I was supposed to do. And there's that through line of her life where she thinks, because she is a person of such faith, that it's how it's supposed to be.
One person who's already had his biography done is Jim Dennis. He's been in a wheelchair since he was a teenager, but that's not stopped him from leading an active life.
The day after I came home from the hospital, I was out hunting. I had told the nurse, I'll see you during hunting season, to which she responded with skepticism. And sure enough, Jim and his dad showed up at hunting season. She couldn't believe it. She exclaimed, "Oh my goodness, oh wow, I never thought I was going to see you."
Jim also had a successful career as a racing driver.
The night of my first win was just, the place was packed. Ironically, I started on the front row and I took the lead and the race went caution free. and I led the whole race. It was quite a night, that's for sure.
The experiences that his story revealed made the medical staff see beyond his health issues, and it's made a practical difference to his treatment.
We're catching him at a moment in time when things aren't really all going his way, and you can't picture that not that long ago he was in a race car. And when you put that together, all of a sudden you're like, oh, okay, we need to get you back to your best, and I think your best is better than what I thought it might have been.
And for Jim, it's helped people see the real person.
It's very important to me that people look at you and they don't stereotype you as, hey, you're in a wheelchair.
For the nursing staff at Grey Birch, the Memorywell stories can provide new ways to look after patients who are upset or whose behaviour is challenging.
If we have a patient who may be trying to leave the facility, what we do is we can refer back to the Memorywell, and from prior experiences of their jobs like baking, carpentry, things like that, we can bring out supplies that'll help them be active at that moment with that, and it alleviates the behavior for the most part.
Sharitha is one of the temporary staff who move around different hospitals. The Memorywell stories make a real difference.
Being in a lot of facilities, coming to Maine and seeing this Memorywell program, I think it's phenomenal because I did not in other facilities see that, so I think it's a great program.
For one of the senior nurses, the life stories have affected her on a personal level. Her mother has dementia and is a patient at Grey Birch.
A lot of people actually were surprised by my mom's Memorywell, a lot, because where she's so confused right now, they didn't know that she went to, like, say, Harvard and that she has 3 kids and stuff like that. So, I mean, I think knowing that has made all the difference in the world for her. People, especially when they're first admitted here, you know, they're scared. They're leaving a lot behind. They're losing some of their independence. And I think this is a real great way to kind of make them feel more comfortable and understood and heard.
What she had was the book Europe on $5 a day and a huge suitcase, which she quickly got rid of in exchange for a smaller, more sensible suitcase.
Shortly after Dot told her story to Amy, the written version is ready.
She says her singleness of purpose is to do God's will. That is wonderful. How does this make you feel? To know that you're getting your story out there.
It's good. Very good.
Memorywell stories have helped more than 1,000 patients and their carers to develop closer bonds.
To treat people with the full dignity of their humanness, you really need to know more about them.